Namaste, guys. ChristianRLong, life enhancement consultant, giving you a big and beautiful shout out on this Saturday morning here in Denver, Colorado. It is 8 o'clock a.m. We're jumping on for our daily dose of divine light, love, and power with our focus on the light aspect, or the creative aspect, or the intelligent aspect of the soul. And I was flipping through Beyond the Mind, one of the Golden Lotus Sutra books of Grandmaster Chogo Koksui, Adriana, Namaste. And this used to be one of my favorite sutras or quotes or aphorisms of the teacher many, many years ago. And I rebought this book, Tina, Namaste, to obviously fill in the gaps to my thinking and my understanding, to meditate on the teacher's teachings. And so as I was flipping through this particular sutra, this is a sutra that really helps you activate the light aspect within yourself, and it helps you shift from your emotional body into your mental body. And Carmen, Namaste, I'll read it to you and then we'll discuss it a little bit. It's such a good one, such a good one. By the way, so this is in context of an Arhatic yogi. So an Arhatic yogi is someone who practices Arhatic yoga, which is a system of yoga that Grandmaster Chogo Koksui developed over 30 years ago. So Arhatic yoga is how does one become a saint, right? Because Arhat in Buddhism means saint. So how does one become a saint? And he basically, being a chemical engineer, he reversed the process. Okay, this is what a saint is, so you define it. And then you go, well, how did that soul get to that level of development? And then you reverse engineer it. And so he's saying this in the context of an Arhatic yogi, which you don't have to be an Arhatic yogi in order to understand and apply this principle. So for an Arhatic yogi, nothing, keyword, Mavika, Namaste, nothing is taboo. Everything is subject to study. Everything is subject to examination. I'll read that again. Again, this is one of my favorite sutras of all time. For an Arhatic yogi, nothing is taboo. Everything is subject to study. Everything is subject to examination. No matter what. No matter what. Now, as I was growing up in Massachusetts, I had the tendency to know people's weaknesses and to bring up those weaknesses. At that time in my life and my development, I was bringing up those weaknesses to entertain myself. So I would find a person's weakness and I would bring it to light. Not in front of other people. I would bring it to light in front of them. Things that they were avoiding, things that they didn't want to talk about. The skeletons in their closet, I would bring up, right? Partly for the point of entertaining myself. The other part, I was training myself to do the work that I'm doing now of helping people transform their lives. So I remember I was like, okay, this person has a blind spot around this. This person has this skeleton in the closet. This person is hiding something, and they're unwilling to study or examine that part of themselves in order to move their lives forward. Whatever that is. Think about the darkest of the dark of the dark of humanity. Karen, Namaste. Think about the darkest of the dark of the dark of humanity, and people go, we can't talk about that. Right? We can't talk about that. And by not talking about something, you don't develop understanding, you don't develop compassion, you don't develop awareness, and you don't develop solutions to solve that problem. Does that make sense? So there's a tendency, especially within families, especially within certain cultures with families, to sweep things under the rug. Right? I don't recommend that. Right? So again, I'll read the sutra to you. For an Arhatic yogi, nothing is taboo. Everything is subject to study. Everything is subject to examination. Now, the cool thing is, Hosea, Namaste, the cool thing is to say that from the perspective of, well, it's easy for me to talk about a taboo subject of another person who had a taboo experience happen to them, right? But when you turn the eyes from here and turn them into yourself, are you also willing to go that same to that same depth of understanding and examination? So what do I mean by that? Let's say you have a friend that had a very traumatic experience happen to them as a child, a taboo subject, and we can think of many of them. Trust me, You're all intelligent people. We can all think of many taboo subjects. You bring that up to that person, and that person shuts down. That person no longer has the ability to study, to examine, to understand, to develop awareness, compassion, tolerance, patience, and to move forward. Likewise, is there an area in your life that I could talk to you about? And I know a lot of you that come onto these live streams. Is there an area of your life that I could bring up that would cause you to shut down? That would cause you to consider that's a taboo subject in your life and in your family. And nope, we're not going there. That is something I want you to be aware of. Because as soon as you start getting into your lower emotional body about something, that's an indicator of an area in your life that you can work on. And by working on that area of your life, you will transform. The reason you have pain and trauma and suffering and anxiousness around that area is because it's karmic. It happened. Usually the things that happen to us as our children are, Bridgab and Namaste, are deeply karmic lessons that we brought from a previous incarnation when they happen when we're a little kid, right? So anything that is taboo as a child, as a teenager, as a young adult, even into adulthood that we don't want to talk about, but most of these taboos get started from childhood because of trauma and because of previous karma. Those are the things that we need to talk about. Is this making sense to anybody that I'm speaking to right now? Anything in your life that if somebody brings up that topic and you shut down, that's an indicator for growth, for transformation, for a willingness to go there. Jessica, namaste. Right? Malvika says yes. So it's okay that if somebody brings up a certain topic, Marcella, namaste. Marcella is one of the queens of social media on this page and on Instagram. Everything that we post, she likes it, she comments, I love it. So Karen says, yes, it makes sense. So that is my encouragement to each and every one of you of developing the light aspect within you. Because where there is darkness, where there is darkness, there's lack of light. So as you're saying, you know what? I'm going to humble myself. I'm going to practice courage. And I'm going to examine and study that part of my life to shine light on it. And as more light is introduced, it alleviates my pain, my sorrow, and my suffering. And just to give you guys an example, I am always, keep this in mind, a practitioner of what I preach. Anything that I say to you guys on the daily dosage, the Twin Hearts meditation, for those clients that I work with and I give them homework assignments, trust me, I have done everything that I recommend to you. I have gone so deep into my life. Christian, namaste. I've gone so deep into my life. I've gone so deep into so many dark periods that it's like, is this ever going to end? But guess what? By introducing light, introducing understanding, studying that area of my life, I've been able to transform it. I'm doing that very thing, which probably that's why I chose today's quote. I'm doing that very thing with a friend of mine today. I'm taking a very dark part of my life. For you guys, maybe not so dark, but for me, I'm taking a dark part of my life and I'm opening it up to examine it, to study it, to peel back the layers so I can go, aha, now I have greater understanding, greater awareness, greater compassion, and the ability to do what? Move forward. So again, the little dark parts of your personality, the little dark parts of your life experience that you have guilt around, that you have shame around, that you have regret around, that you have a tremendous amount of anger or negative emotion connected to that, it's okay. It's completely okay. It's not your fault. It happened because of karma. It happened because there were lessons to be learned. It happened because there were experiences to have. It's okay. You're not broken. You're not a fallen soul, right? So it's okay to look at it and go, okay, where do we go from here? How do I heal this part of my life? For instance, a simple one is anger. A lot of the people that get onto the spiritual path because of some trauma that happened to them that caused them to experience a tremendous amount of anger. So how do we solve that? We forgive, we forgive, we forgive. Easy, right? It's not easy, it's simple. You just sit down and you do the practice. And then the next day you sit down and you do the practice. And then the next day you sit down and do the practice. And little by little by little by little by little, you feel better, you feel lighter, you feel happier, you feel more joyful, you have more inner peace because you have healed, because forgiveness is therapeutic. That's one of many, many examples that we can come up with. If you're angry, practice forgiveness. If you keep making mistakes, practice awareness, right? So Jessica says, yes, peeling onions make you cry, but the tears don't last forever. Ooh, I like that. What's up, peeling onions? Angela, namaste. I will have to miss today's meditation. Sorry, I'm on the way to the kids' school. That's okay, Jessica. It's good to have you on the stream regardless. So does that make sense? That we all, we're all human beings on this stream, right? We all have weaknesses, blind spots, negative tendencies, moments we've dropped the ball, traumatic experiences, taboo experiences within our family. Most all of us. I haven't met someone who doesn't, right? And it's okay. It's okay. It's okay to recognize that, wow, this was a really crappy experience that happened in my life one time, or a crappy experience that happened in my life for many, many years. For many, many years. It's interesting. I was exposed to some things as a child that were somewhat traumatic. I've healed from those experiences. And then, interestingly enough, as I became older, as a teenager, I ran into people that made my trauma look almost insignificant. Not that I'm comparing the two and saying, well, their trauma, like my trauma is less valid than their trauma because it's relative to the individual. But I think to myself, man, those people experience those kinds of things, those taboo experiences, wow, interesting. And pretty much anything taboo related is mostly connected to the emotional body, right? So when we talk about something taboo, we're connecting it to the negative aspect of the emotional body, not so much the mental body. But there are things in the mental plane that people are uncomfortable speaking about. Like, for instance, lying is a function of the mental plane. Distorting the perception of other people is a function of the mental plane. So you can have somebody having a conversation with you about lying and go, you know what? I consider you to be a liar. If somebody called you a liar, would you have a negative emotional reaction to it? Or would you go, that person's accurate. I do lie. I lie about this. I lie about that. I lie about this. Interesting. Or the person is projecting onto you. They call you a liar. You reflect on it and you go, no, I mean, I have my weaknesses and I am working on becoming a better person. But when someone calls me a liar, I don't get emotionally charged about it because I'm not that. So you have a higher level of objectivity. But the cue and the hint is if somebody accuses you of something, listen to me carefully. If somebody accuses you of something and you get emotionally reactive, that's something to look at. Like if I called you a tree, are you going to get emotionally worked up about it? No. Why? Because you're not a tree. Hello? But if I called you a liar and you got jacked up about it, maybe there's something to look at about you're lying to yourself, you're lying to other people. If I called you an abuser, would you get worked up about it? Yvonne, namaste. If I called you an abuser, would you get worked up about it? Maybe, maybe not. Right? If I called you selfish, this is a very interesting one. If I called you selfish, would that get you worked up? I know a lot of people that if I called them selfish, it would get them worked up because that is something that they're working on, or that is something that they're struggling with, but they don't want to acknowledge that, right? But if you're able to see something objectively, the light aspect of the soul, Johanna says, very good points and topic. You never disappoint with these streams. I do my best. You guys inspire me to become better every day. to provide more value to you guys every day. So again, there's nothing wrong with you having a traumatic experience in your life. It is what it is. It happened because of karma. You had lessons to learn, right? But if you keep sweeping that experience under the rug, even if you're in your 50s or 60s and you keep sweeping it under the rug, it never gets a chance to heal. It never gets a chance to heal. And healing is what we're ultimately after. So as I'm meeting with my friend today, I'm going to go yet again into something that has made me uncomfortable. Not necessarily something that I've been avoiding, but I want to take even more proactive steps in moving that part of my life forward. So I'm going into it. I'm studying and examining the taboo around my life in this particular area. Doesn't make me a bad person. It doesn't make other people bad people. It just is what it is, and I'm going to move forward. So that's my encouragement to each and every one of you who are watching today's stream or watching the replay. If something gets you emotionally worked up, if something makes you withdraw, right, because you're hurt, because you've been traumatized, because you're trying to put the walls up to stay protected, I recommend don't do that, right? I recommend being proactive in your healing. There were certain things that one of my mentors would say to me maybe 4 or 5 years ago, would bring up an area of my life that they would bring up, and I would totally lose it. I would go into this fit of rage for like 5 or 10 minutes and be blinded by my own anger. And I was like, I need to solve that. I need to overcome that. And then through lots and lots of awareness, lots and lots of meditation, lots and lots of healing, not only do I not get reactive about that anymore, but I've completely healed that part of my life. And that part of my life is bright, it is healthy, it is happy. Pretty amazing, right? Yes, forgiving is a huge part of the healing. So that being said, thank you guys for joining. We are no longer doing the Twin Hearts meditation live on Facebook. We are now doing it on Zoom. So as soon as I get off this stream, I'm going to post the link. Noah, Abba Namaste. I'm going to post the link on Facebook, and at 8:30 a.m. right now, in the next 15 minutes, 8:30 a.m. Mountain Time, you click on that link, ta-da, and we're all on Zoom together. Nothing's different. We're just not doing it on Facebook. Cool? Perfect. All right, guys, for those of you who need healing, reach out to me directly at ChristianRLong.com. It's my name, it's my website. Let me know how I can assist you in your healing process, and I look forward to serving you very, very soon. This is Christian Long, Life Enhancement Consultant, wishing you a beautiful day, a beautiful week, and a beautiful life. Atma Namaste. Bye-bye.